From an All-American on the court to the first female commissioner of the Horizon League, I sat down with Roe Lach to get her take on college sports in 2021. It all began as a little girl with a basketball in the small coal mining town of Pinckneyville, Illinois.
I grew up going to the gym very much like the movie Hoosiers. The gym was open all the time. I don't know if they ever locked the doors. And I played basketball, and I was one of the few girls, and it was just all pickup. So I would just shoot around on the side until I get invited to play in these pickup scrimmage games with boys. I think because of that, I became very comfortable playing in any arena.
All that time in the gym paid off. Julie went on to star at Millikan, where she was a decorated Division III All-American. And that on-the-court college success led to a gig with the NCAA, where she joined as an intern and eventually rose to a leadership position as Director of Enforcement. Just in your estimation, I mean, I know you've been out of that role for a while, but just the state of college sports today, as opposed to 15 years ago.
Even 5 years ago, the state of college sports, I think, has dramatically changed, not so much for those who are working in sports or for the transformational experiences that our student athletes are having, because you still see them come in as freshmen and graduate as seniors with incredible GPAs and, more importantly, great leadership opportunities. What's really changed is all of this interest around college sports. So you now have a pending case with the United States Supreme Court. They haven't reviewed a case involving the NCAA since the 1980s. You now have over 5 federal bills being proposed on all ends of the spectrum, primarily around this name, image, likeness, which the NCAA members support student athletes being able to make money off their name, image, likeness. There are some senators who think it needs to go much further, and others who might even think it needs to be more restrictive. But there is some level of federal intervention that's going to happen, likely at some point this year.
What would you say is the biggest threat to college athletics in 2021?
I think it very much is this notion of not only the federal intervention, but federal intervention to the point of changing the entire model. And if that model changes to the point of looking at literally should there be compensation or profit sharing, the reality is there are not a lot of profits to share, and that then could cause schools to drop sports. And that, to me, is what we all want to avoid, because we want to keep providing all these opportunities.
And speaking of opportunities, in January, Julie was named Commissioner of the Horizon League, where she's already dealing with a unique set of circumstances, navigating the pandemic.
We put together our own medical team of advisors at our 12-member institutions, and we developed what is probably a 50-plus page document. It includes testing. It includes screening. It even includes how teams travel, where they eat, where they don't eat.
Off the spin move, that's 2.
This season, our men's teams played over 90% of their scheduled games, which is well above the national average that's in the 70s.
So what's the fan capacity?
Right now, we're not comfortable with fans, because even allowing family and friends, as much as we want to do, that's going to invite some exposure.
You mentioned family. I know you've got 2 daughters. And to be the lead commissioner of a Division I conference, you're busy, beyond busy. And I'm a new mom. I feel like I'm running around with my head cut off. So how do you do it?
It's hard, and our girls are 8 and 11. It is harder when they're little. It's still tough, though.
Julie cites Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg's 2013 book, Lean In, as her handbook for having it all.
You can have it all. It's hard to have it all at the same time. Might be in different phases in life, but regardless, you're going to need to marry your partner. And I was fortunate to do that. My husband's entirely supportive. We're all in. We're a sports family, so that helps too.
What piece of advice, I guess single piece of advice, would you give to young women that are interested in going into sports leadership or just the sports industry in general?
There are no jobs too small, and I think especially in sports, because it is all hands on deck in sporting events. That's the point. If your mission at the end of the day is to provide this opportunity to compete, whether it's at the rec level or the collegiate level or the professional levels, then everyone has to be all in on what it's going to take to provide that opportunity. The other piece is it's okay to ask for help with mentors. I've had many men and women mentors that have just been fantastic with giving me good advice and telling me when to slow down or speed up. And that's been really important along the way.
Mary-Rachel Redman, Inside Indiana Business.